Okay, we are recording. Good morning, everybody, to what is effectively going to be our last lesson for the year. However, that does not mean the course has ended.
Yep.
There will be a mock examination, which is a examination. It's not for marks. It is to give you an idea of how the final examination, the look and feel is going to work. Mr. Pretorius, what date is the mock examination?
The mock exam is not an exam. Well, basically, the mock exam is already open. I opened it this morning at 8 o'clock in the tutor and tutorial and mentor link on Blackboard. So
Okay,
it is open.
let me
Maybe you
just
can
share
just,
my screen and let's
here we
just
go,
go there
sir.
so that everybody
You can just do a
is,
demo to show them where to find it.
yes, because this is
Okay.
really important.
It is important, and Miss Morris will also be using this mock test for the next 2 weeks as revision purposes. So, yeah, if you can share your screen quick, sir, or if you want to make me host, if I must share it, it's up to you.
I'm trying to share, but it doesn't want to share. It's frozen.
Oh.
Let's just wait a little bit here.
Okay. And then afterwards, we can go through the actual criteria. So now, students, remember, while Mr. Smuts is busy sorting the sharing out.
Ready? Can you hear
Yes, sir.
me?
Yes, I
I'm just
can
going
hear
to leave
you.
and I'm going to leave and rejoin quick.
Okay, sir. I can chat to them quick while you, all right, while you're busy. What I wanted to say now, students, yes, the mock test is based on Excel and imports and exports part of Access. But remember, students, your test is going to be also on theory. So in other words, what am I saying? When we show you the criteria and scope of the exam, 35 marks will come from theory, which will be based on chapter 4 and 5. So chapter 4 will be 20 marks and chapter 5 will be 15 marks, 1-5. That will give you your 35 marks, students. Pardon, that's the theory section. So yes, that section, you answer on your question paper. Right, your theory is finished now. Say you did your theory in 45 minutes. Remember, your test is 3 hours. Now you start with your Excel. Then you have to open up, like September exam, like the class test 4 and 3, you're going to open up a starter file or a data file and all the contents inside and the question paper, and then you answer those questions by doing the test in Excel. Save it correctly, rename your files correctly. Once your test is done, you will have an Access test, an Excel test, and your Word section of your question paper. So what am I saying? All those 3 test files must be zipped into one folder, and then you upload to Blackboard. So yes, you're writing on the 9th for 3 hours, 2 sessions, 9 till 12, and then you have another session from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And there we go, sir, sharing. And you can write in any one of the 2 sessions. So anyway, let's go back here where Mr. Smuts is quickly going to show you where to find your mock test in Blackboard or on Blackboard. All right? Mr. Smuts, can you hear me? That is correct. Semester 1, chapter 4 and 5, MS9, MS10 theory. Kainisa George. So you need to focus on long essay or short essay type questions in chapter 4 and 5. So that's what I said. Get your exercises, get your notes, get all your necessary information related to chapter 4 and 5 ready, and download all your Excel videos and exercises, because Blackboard closes on the 30th. If chapter 4 and 5 is not open on Blackboard, I will open it later, and it will also be shut on the 30th of October. So download all your chapter 4 related things and all your chapter 5 related things, questions, short questions, true and false, multiple. There won't be true and false and multiple choice. It will be answer the following questions, which will be about 5 or 6 questions of chapter 4 and 5 for 35 marks. All right. Mr. Smuts, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, you can hear me. And you're sharing, sir. We can see your sharing. We can see it.
Okay,
So all
hopefully
that's
it's going to stay working this time. We are plagued with technical problems at the end of the year. It's still
That's true,
recording,
sir.
so that's good. Okay, students,
Here we go.
let's
Are we going to
take a
first do the
look
criteria? Okay.
at the criteria for the final exam, and it's basically exam scope. So I'm going to open that, and now your revision.
Okay.
Your revision is actually going to be the tutorials that are coming from Miss Morris over the next 2 weeks. So we will post these on the WhatsApp groups and announcements on Blackboard as to what tutorials will be happening when. And please do not miss them. Do your best to attend those tutorials because they are there to prepare you for this final exam. The final
Correct,
exam,
sir.
if I'm correct, Eddie, is on the 9th.
That's correct, sir.
And there will be
From
2
that.
sessions. Am I
That's
correct?
correct. Correct,
Okay,
sir.
there's a morning session and an afternoon session because of load shedding and technical problems and so on and so forth. You can write in either session. Okay, it is critical that you write and you upload to Blackboard. This is a final examination. No exceptions will be made unless you email your lecturer immediately you have a problem, and we will actually try to fix that problem on the day. So please be aware of that. Okay, let's have a look at the criteria and scope of the final November exam. And this, please be aware, counts 30% of your year mark. So that is quite a bit. And if the final exam goes wrong and you've been doing well, you've been getting in the 80s and the 70s, distinctions, it can still go down quite a bit if you make a mistake of the final exam. So I cannot stress enough how important this final exam is for you guys. And
Yes,
then
sir.
I'm also, yes?
No, sorry, sir. I just looked at the math stuff. There are a few students that need a 35, 40, 45 out of 100, sir. So this exam, the BCI is not yet over for everybody. You need to do well in this exam, people. I looked at the marks, and we will post those marks today, tomorrow, and Friday. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. We're going to be posting the marks. I'm busy with marking my tests to try and get you guys the maximum marks that we can. And what is left is the November exam, which is critical. Okay, what is the content? We have a 35 mark theory session and we have a 65 mark Excel session. If you will notice, what is missing? There is no heavy access. It is only an import and export. In any case, let's start from the beginning and talk about our resources and where they are. Okay, so not only is Miss Morris going to be having tutorial sessions, we need to look at Blackboard and say, okay, where is the material? It's not just the videos. There are slides there for you and so on and so forth. So we will have as you were familiar with at the beginning of the year, the essay type questions based on chapter 4 and chapter 5. Okay, now please be aware that if it says chapter 4 and chapter 5, that doesn't mean you only learn chapter 4 and chapter 5. You need to understand what's going on in 1, 2, and 3 in order to put 4 and 5 into context for you guys. The resources for this, let's just take a quick look. I'm going to go to Blackboard. I'm going to go to Content. And there are two sets of resources that we're going to have here. Okay, we've got the final timetable. We've got the work schedule. I am looking for the study guide.
Theory.
There we go. BCA Subject Guide 2021. Okay, other information, let's not worry about that for now.
The theories in the other information.
You need to have a look.
Can you hear me? You're breaking up, sir, your voice?
Guide. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. You were just like missing a bit there, but that's fine. I can hear you.
Okay, no problem. If I do go missing, you can just fill in and just let me know.
All right, okay. Sir, will do. Okay.
This is your study guide. This is your Bible. Do you have to read the whole thing again? No, not necessarily. But please be aware of the following. The structure, I'm going to get there now. What we covered for the final exam. Now, they call it a FISA, which is a final integrated summative assessment, which means it must contain everything from the course. So there will be, where we start here, databases, some of the theory. Do you remember the different types of databases, the uses of the databases, so on and so forth? Please have a look at that again. Microsoft Access. Fortunately, we are only doing in the final, we have evaluated that already in the final exam. We are only going to do an import and an export. So practice your imports and your exports between Access and Excel. IT concepts. Yes.
Very similar to class test 4. Some of them did very well in that, sir.
Yes,
Thank
correct.
You.
Okay, then our IT concepts, from chapters 4 and chapters 5. Just recap 1, 2, and 3 quick, because you do have a lot of content to learn and go through in detail in chapter 4 and 5. Excel charts, which we have covered in the last 2 weeks. I've handed out 4 very nice videos that were made for you guys. I hope you have watched them. If you have not watched them, please go and watch them in terms of simple charts, pivot tables and pivot charts, and goal seek. We are only doing the basics of that. You will do the heavier version in your second year, so you will revisit that. We are just doing an introduction. Excel, the biggest part of the course, spreadsheet software. Referencing and logical functions. Remember the if statements and so on. Excel statistical functions, which is our pivot tables charts and goal seek. And then it says here the solver add-in. Don't worry about that at the moment. Just worry about your pivot charts and goal seek. I'm going to move down here a little bit further in the study guide. Okay, and I'm going to go to this section that I can't see the page. What page number am I on here? I need to make it a bit smaller.
In the bottom right corner or something.
It's telling me page 7. Page 7, students. Okay, now I need to talk just very briefly about how we examine you, what your lecturer is looking for. And that's why we have this section in the study guide. We have a learning outcome, which is what you are supposed to know when you have finished that section, the content, the activities that we did, the assessment criteria. We set questions against the assessment criteria, and then assessment task, which is basically your final examination. So what I'm saying is you must be very clear. Go through this. You must be very clear that you are able to demonstrate the basic knowledge of databases and database software, which is Access. And then you may or may not get a question that comes out of assessment criteria. So what I'm saying to you, I'm giving you a tip here. Look at your specific learning outcomes for the course in the different sections and look at your assessment criteria, and you say to yourself, okay, correctly modify a database. What can they ask me there? Okay, they're going to ask me something about Access, and they're going to ask me to create a table, both in datasheet and design view. Filter, manipulate, analyze financial data, export, import. There we go. Recap on that. Apply the concepts of relational databases. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you. Be aware that Access is relational and that we have the relations in there. And you can keep going through these sections. Demonstrate an understanding of basic IT concepts. What can we ask? We can ask you about network risks, or we can discuss ethical issues. So this is going to help you refine what you are learning for your final exam. So we have two things that I'm saying to you. We have the mock test and the tutorials that are coming up, and then we have our criteria here that I would like you as students to go through, right from 1.1 to, and it reaches section 7.1. And from each of these, there is a possible question that can come along. So please, what I'm saying to you is come back to the study guide, revisit it, and have a look at that section. It is going to help you quite a lot in terms of you thinking what types of short essay questions you are going to receive. And we do still have all of our videos, the whole lot are available. Okay. What I'm going to do, this is fairly straightforward. It is telling you what is the scope of the final exam. So on some of these, you guys can read. I just want to talk about problems we have had through the year with certain aspects of these. Renaming and saving your test file. Most students got that right and correct. There was no problem with that. In your instructions is very clear how you must name the file. However, there is about 20% of students that are still not naming their file correctly. Be careful of that. Your file can get lost. Okay, so have a look in the instructions and you save it exactly as that name. Inserting headers and footers. There were some problems here. I only had about 60% of my students inserting the header and footer. If I open Excel quickly, I'm just going to open a blank document. If you click at the bottom here on your page layout view, you can add your header, name, student number, and group. There we go. I've added a header. The footer, you click on it at the bottom there. You should have your header and footer tools showing. I'm going to click on them there, and I'm going to insert what we asked you to do, which is a page number. And you will see here it says and page. That's not a mistake. When I click away from it, it should say page number 1. It's not doing that. Don't panic about that. When we mark it, we look that it says and page, and that you've added it from the header and footer tools. Sometimes we'll want the current date and time. You go to your header, footer, and tools, and you insert the current date and the current time. And there we go. It shows up when we mark. So please be aware. Another thing that happened with this is we asked the students to please save your exam in this view, which is page layout view. Very few of you did. That was -1. So please, once again, follow the instructions. Don't give it to us like that. If we want you to save it in page layout view, you save it in page layout view, and then it makes our marking easier. So you don't want to lose a mark there, for example. Okay. Named range, I think we have no problems with that. Every student has been able to name the range and delete that named range. Quickly show you in Excel. I'm going to go to my normal view.
So just make your screen a little bit bigger, sir.
No problem.
There we go.
If I want to name a range, a little one this time, A1 to C6, and I can put in here prices. Enter. There is my named range, and if you're having a look in the name box on the left-hand side, when I highlight that section, it should say prices. If you do make a mistake, we have, where was our named ranges again that we can delete? Mr. Pretorius, where was that again?
Something about management, man. Somewhere where you manage your name range. Something about there, name manager. To your right, sir. To your right. To your right. To your right.
No, name manager. Name manager. There we go. And you can just go in there, delete your named range. Says, are you sure you want to delete it? And there we go. It's gone, and you close. So we're talking formulas, name manager. Because many students do make a mistake when they name the range the first time. And then when I come in and I mark, I actually go to your name manager to check that the
if it was, oh yeah,
are there. Conditional formatting, students, we've had no problems here. I think everyone that I received was correct. The only thing I can suggest there is some of them you got the color wrong. Please be aware of the correct color. Setting to currency, accounting, and decimal places.
no problems really.
In Excel, there was no problem there. 2 ways to do it. Right click, format cells, and you can set it to your currency there or whatever you need to do with 1 decimal place. I am going to cancel that. If you go to your home tab, you can also click on percentage here, or rands, English, dollar, and so on. So you can play around with what you need to hear. Currency, short date, time, so on and so forth. You have a choice as to which one you want to use. I prefer the right-click method, students. Okay, absolute referencing, F4. No problems. Well, actually, I'm not going to say no problems. we had 10% of the students that did not know where to use the absolute cell reference. In other words, I'm saying you all know how to press F4 and make it $C, $2, or whatever necessary. However, where to use an absolute cell reference is where a cell is standing still. And what I'm talking about is I'm going to go back to Excel, and if I've got in here the price, I've got here VAT, and I just type here 15%. And you would want to take total, okay, absolute cell referencing. This 15% is not going to move here. I can actually delete that out. It is in the wrong place. There we go. So we have our amount, our VAT, and our total. You would equals this
star
multiplied by that cell. Now D2 is standing still, students. It's never going to move. So I press F4 there, and it's going to change it to $D, $2, which means when I copy down, it's not going to move. And there we go. I've got my VAT of 45, and I can now copy down. And when you have a look here in your formula bar, I know it's very difficult to see on the video, but we've got our $D, $2 sitting there, because it must always refer to that 15% that is in D2. Okay, so be careful of where you need to use the absolute referencing. COUNTIF function, I think we've had no problems there. The only one I can warn you about is, and it does come up in the exam, it's come up in every exam, every year, is the triple nested if. If and if and if. So I'm referring to the gold, bronze, platinum example.
Sorting is a problem for me, sir.
Is it? Okay.
Because
Let's have a look.
students need
Let's
to
see if
know.
we can find one. The COUNTIF
Students need to
function
know
there.
a custom sort. There we go.
Okay.
If they
Custom
ask you to
sort.
sort something on a particular column or name of the column, it's very important, students. Students didn't sort that 100% up.
Open something temporarily, and I'm going to do a custom sort on it.
Okay, let's see. Where we were sorting. Exercise 10. Go to integrated, sir. Second last one from the bottom. Integration, yeah. Let's go and do that sorting one again.
Let's do the dealer starter, hey?
Not that one. Go into... No, man. Where have we now?
Oh, sorry, that's an ACCDB.
You in Excel. Access, sorry. Go into Excel, sir. Go back here. Go back. Integrated.
Access,
oh, in Access. Wait. Here we go. Excel practice. Go all the way. There we go. Integration. Right at the bottom.
Which one sorting should we use? Let's use the sort subtitles. No, that's not the one I want to use.
Or even a mixed formula.
I just want to use an Excel file. Let's use the higher it Excel file.
Okay. Just to get some data to show them again.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see. I think it's open there, flashing at the bottom, sir.
No.
Oh, then it's in my downloads probably. Okay, cancel or don't save, yeah. And then you go into my downloads, my computer downloads. I think the Excel document is in there.
Where has my downloads gone here now? Let's just try downloads.
Oh, my computer.
No.
C drive users.
Control panel, sir.
I got it. This PC.
There we go. There we go.
Downloads.
Download. There's it
There's
right on
our
top.
document. Okay, now this custom sort. Let me make this a little bigger for you guys. There was a problem with the sorting, and I do recall that when we were marking. Now, if you have a look here, everything is mixed up and there is repeats of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the column and its related data. I'm going to go to data at the top.
Sort.
Now, it gives me the custom sort dialog box here. Sort by product on cell values, and I am happy with A to Z. I tell it, okay, now I want you to look what happens on the left-hand side here.
There we
has
go.
sorted it very nicely for me for that. Now, the reason I'm focusing on this is because when you get to subtotals, which is a lot of marks.
There we go, sir. That's the main thing.
If you don't do your custom sort first, you just land up with a complete mess. So please be aware of the custom sort. You can come back and have a look at it later. Let's go back to our document. Okay.
And subtotals.
Subtotals. There was no problem there except for the custom sort.
Yes,
So
there we go.
subtotals starts with a custom sort that I've just shown you. So there shouldn't be, please be aware that your subtotals you can count or you can sum. Be aware of what the question is asking you. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, I think we've had no problems there. Mr. Pretorius, have you had any problems with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP?
Not at all, sir. There was just one thing there, sir. Second criteria, I see students still struggled a bit with name range, and they use the F4 by, selecting the whole data. Students, is not wrong, but it's also not right, if you know what I mean. If the question asks you to use the name range, then you must name range it, because then you're going to lose mark in name range, and you're going to lose mark or half a marks in the VLOOKUP formula. So if they ask you in the exam, create a VLOOKUP using the name range, then you must use the name range. If they just say straight, use the VLOOKUP by using that data and criteria, then you know you must select that particular criteria and absolute that values. So just be careful of the question. Thank you, sir.
Okay. The if statements, I think I dealt with extensively in class.
That is perfect.
Please go back and watch that video. That was a 1 hour, 45-minute lesson. I went through that and I went over and over and over with that with you guys.
Pivot table should be fine.
And this is all as a similar statement. I've given you syntax. Okay. The pivot table. Who watched my video?
It's
I
based
had one or
on.
two queries from students, which is good. And the last 4 videos that we have provided you, I do not want to confuse you today on pivot tables. So I'm not going to go into a pivot table and try and create another different example from the one that we showed you in the video and so on and so forth. It's just going to confuse you. So please watch the video on pivot table and goal seek, which is called a what if analysis. I'll show you that now. Okay. Moving sheets. I don't think there was a problem there. Eddie,
No problem there, sir.
there?
No problems there, sir.
Guys, all you do, you want
Click
subtotal
and drag.
last, you click on it, and you will see that little arrow show there. You let go, and there's subtotal is lost. I had a few students that lost a mark with that one. So just be aware how to move the sheets. I think the other one that we were looking at is giving it a color. Tab color. You right click on it, and I would like that one to be blue. Why did that not go blue? Tab color. Let's go dark blue. Tab color. That's strange. It's not working.
You right click on the tab, sir.
I did, yeah. Look here, right click.
Okay.
Tab
And then
color.
you move. There we go. There's your colors.
I chose the color. Okay, now it's sticking. I don't know what I was doing there. It's fine. Okay, and I want my linking to be blue. I would click on linking. Tab color. Blue. And then you will see that we've adjusted the tab colors there in Excel. Okay. Linking. Very few problems with linking.
No problems there, sir.
I don't think we had any problems with linking. It is just one cell equals another cell on a different sheet. So I can go to my Excel document and I can go to my linking one. So I don't have subtotals in, but I will just show you the linking process. This cell equals another spreadsheet, that number, enter. So I've just linked it between the 2 spreadsheets. One cell equals another cell. And if it changes on the other spreadsheet, it's going to change in this one. But generally, we've had no problems there. Totals and F4 absolute referencing, no problems. Everybody's got that. Inserting a chart and a graph.
That should be straightforward,
Briefly,
sir.
students, briefly. This was in my video that we handed out last week. Very briefly, I want to talk about charts. Just basic charts. So if we have our subtotals here, I'm going to highlight all of those. I choose insert at the top. And where are my charts? I want to insert either a bar chart, column or bar chart, line or area.
So that's where you find your charts.
A 2D pie, and there we go. So just to recap, I highlighted my range first. Excel is not going to understand what your chart must consist of unless you highlight it, including the headings. If you want to change your chart type, please be aware you can click everywhere on a chart and different things are going to happen. Do you see how it's highlighting it there? Selling price. You can put the type, click in there and go current. So now I've changed my legend. My title. They call that title. This
the heading
that
or
we've got
title,
at the bottom here is called legend. If I click on this or I click in the main area, I can change my chart type. It's going to ask me what would I like. I would like a 3D pie. I just tell it okay. It didn't really show. Let's change it to something else. Change chart type. Let's just choose a bar chart. I don't like that one.
Something
It's
like
giving
that.
me a sample of what it looks like. Let's just choose the first one. It's fine. You will be told which bar chart to choose. And I'm going to choose here bar chart. And there we go. That one now is a nicer format than the pie chart, because it's ordered it nicely with our legend, our current selling price, and where those prices are. So you can play around with the basic charts. I think my point was when you highlight, you must highlight your whole range, including the heading. My chart is overlapping there. I will move it. If you want to move your chart, you just move him over. Okay. Going back to the criteria.
Insert picture logo.
Picture.
That is class is for, sir. Straightforward.
Straightforward. Copy paste, or you go to Excel, insert picture from this device or from file, go and find your picture and you choose insert. I'm not going to waste any more time on that. It is so straightforward. Sometimes you may need to resize that cell.
So one thing, sir.
Yes.
We are on exactly concatenate now. Why are students using concate? When I click in the formula bar, I see the word concate with an and sign and a semicolon. If they ask you to use concatenate or concatenate, you must use the word in full, not concate. I never ever came across a concate. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, you are 100% correct. I saw this a lot, and I did deduct a mark there because you used the wrong formula. You were asked to use concatenate, and you used your own one that you pulled off Google. Very innovative, students. There's nothing bad about that. You are being innovative. It's just you're not reading the question. So we want to use the concatenate, not the other strange one that Mr. Pretorius and I picked up. Okay. The what if analysis goal seek. I'm not going to confuse you again there. I took a second chance earlier on today. I checked the video, the last video that we gave you, which is goal seek, and it is very straightforward.
Yeah.
Nothing funny with goal seek. If you go into Excel, you would find goal seek under
data.
What
if analysis? There's it, yeah. On your right hand side.
What if analysis. So I'm just showing you where to find your goal seek. We don't use scenario manager. We don't use data table. So just be aware, if we ask you to use goal seek, watch the video and choose what if analysis, and then you've got your goal seek. And it's asking you if I change a cell to one value, we wanted
Anyone?
25 million last time, by changing
And
cell such and such. Um,
okay.
I can
Straightforward.
do a quick one. I can do a total here with this one. We can do this very quickly. We're almost near the end. I want to auto sum.
Okay. Oh, I get you. I know it. Okay.
Okay. 5152. Now this is B32.
Correct.
I want to change the price of, I'm going to delete one of these. No, let's delete 2 core drills because it generally works with 1. Delete. Delete. I want to seek the goal. If I want my subtotal to be 5,000, I need to change cell B7 to something, and that is my goal. So we go here to data, sorry, where was it,
Yeah,
Mr.
daughter.
Pretorius?
That's right, daughter.
What if analysis?
Yep.
Goal seek. Set cell $B, $30 to 5,000
That's not me.
by changing cell core drills. I tell it okay. And did you see what happened there? It
The value
automatically
change.
went, the value changed, and it says to me there is 5,000. So that is what a goal seek is.
Mr. Smith, sorry to cut you. There's just a
Yes.
student. There's just a student here to say that he gave you a WhatsApp or a message, or she gave you a WhatsApp about her goal seek not working. So I don't know if it's software or Excel. Just a student here in the chat box.
Yeah, we have had a couple of incidents of goal seek not working. However, if you go through the motion, I can see whether you used goal seek. If goal seek does not work, you email me a picture of the error message and I will give you the mock.
Say
Okay.
benefit of the doubt. I get you, sir.
Benefit of the doubt. So if there is a problem with your software, you take a screen capture, you email it to me on the day, say, sir, my goal seek didn't work. This is the error I got. Here is the picture of it, and I will give you that mark. So don't stress.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Almost near the end. The Access Excel section, the import and export. Any problems you had here?
No problems really, sir. There was a few people that did not even submit an Access file, so they lost 7 marks. So people, at least if you're looking for marks and if you're having problems with that, open up Access and at least rename a file. You can get 2 out of 7 or 3 out of 7. But if you're not going to submit an Access table, you're going to lose about 5, 6 marks in the exam. So please.
Yeah, we need to go back, take a look at that video. I know I'm not expecting you to go and watch every video again. That's just too hectic for your final exam. You know most of the stuff.
Sorry, sir.
But
Zoe just asked, is that all what you need to know for Access? Yes. You're going to take an Access table and you're going to import it into Excel, or they're going to ask you to select an Excel sheet and you must export it into Access and rename the table exactly similar to your class test 4. That's the clue. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fortunately, yes. Access, we have finished examining, so there will be no queries, tables, reports, and forms. They will not form part of this examination. So I'm sure you will be happy about that. So we are going in both directions. We're going import Access table into Excel and export Excel table into Access. Please go and watch that video again. It's very clearly marked on Blackboard, and I did it in detail for you guys. And like Mr. Pretorius says, I had many students who did not even try that. And the only reason I can assume is maybe you didn't watch the video. I'm not sure. The
Oh, they don't
information
have
is
access.
there for you guys. Okay, moving on. We're near the end of the lesson, students. This uploading and submitting, I want to talk about this. And I'm sure Mr. Pretorius wants to talk about it as well. If you get 3 hours for an examination, you actually have 2 hours, 45 minutes. Because the last 15 minutes is for uploading. Now, I want to explain this next aspect clearly because it's a final exam. It's a FISA assessment. If you take too long, when the exam finishes at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and you try to upload your examination at 1 minute past 12, it's not going to work. You have missed the train, my friends. You have missed the taxi. It's gone. And then you can't upload your examination. And this is a problem we had. We got so many WhatsApps. Mr. Pretorius and I could not believe how many WhatsApps we got going, sir, it's not there anymore. Yes, we know it's not there anymore. Why is it not there anymore? Because you are late. Okay, so if it says you submit by 11 o'clock, I think you want to submit by 5 minutes to 11. If you have not finished the exam, stop and submit what you have. It is better than submitting nothing. And unfortunately, with the final exam, if you miss, we are not going to open it 1 minute longer than it's supposed to be open. We are not going to extend it. We are not allowed to.
That's why, sir.
If you have any further words on that.
Yes, that's why, sir. Students, if it gets to 10 to 12 and you can't submit, save your work in a safe place, because guess what? Session 2 will open at 2 o'clock and then you can submit your exam. Problem solved. So you don't need to text me, sir. Can you open? Can you extend? That days of opening and extending from 12 o'clock is over, because you will have another 2 o'clock session where you can submit. Thank you, sir.
Sure. And if you miss both sessions, then you've missed it. So
then you've missed it completely.
The question that keeps coming up, and I don't know why this question comes up, but let me answer it here for you now. You write in the 9 o'clock session and you ask if you can submit in the 2 o'clock session. Yes, you can. No problem. So
thank you, sir.
My suggestion to you students is everybody, you write at 9 o'clock. Then if you save your work, you submit 9 o'clock. If you can't submit 9 o'clock because you had whatever technical error, load shedding, so on and so forth, you email your lecturer, number 1, and number 2, you take the second chance of uploading, which is from, I think 2 to 5 o'clock. And you will have a 3-hour window there where you may upload. Yes, you may upload in either session. It is allowed. It is not a problem to us. It's going to go to the same place. And final thing I'd like to talk about here is zipping.
Make sure your files are closed.
Now, I know some of you are more computer literate than others, but I don't want WinRAR. We are
Ah,
asked to
yes, sir,
zip it. It
that's
must
a
be
good
a
one.
dot zip. Must be a dot zip. I know there's a tutorial how to use 7-zip. That shouldn't be on Blackboard. It's old.
It is there, sir.
It is there, but it should be removed actually because 7-zip is old now. If
Ah,
you're
okay.
using WinRAR, you can save it as a zip file. It mustn't be a .RAR. It must be a .zip. And I'll just show you this very quickly again.
There's a WinZip and there's a
Right
7-zip.
click.
So I don't know where raw coming from here.
Yeah. Right click on your folder with all of your stuff in. So here's my folder with all of my stuff inside it, my exam
All
stuff.
your
So
test
3
files are
files.
inside.
Right
Okay.
click, send to compressed zipped folder. There he shows at the bottom. And there he is with his zip on him. And that is the one that you upload. Instead of uploading 3 separate files, if you're going to upload 3 separate files, I'm going to take off 3 marks.
That is correct, sir. That is a punishment. Students, we've been doing this in the September class test 3, class test 4, and September exam. That is why I tested you on zipping. If you're going to upload 3 files, I'm not going to still move your files into a folder and rename it for you. It's going to be -3. Thank you, sir.
That takes us a lot of time if a student uploads 3 files. Then we must go find your 3 files. Then we must put your 3 files together. Then we must create a folder with your name. Then we must move your files into that folder with your name. We
That
are
is your job.
evaluating. We are not doing the work for you. So please, 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 please be careful there, students. And then where do I submit my exam? In the heading. You click on the heading. It is telling you here with the exam, same place you downloaded it is where you upload it, and you click on the heading. Maybe I can show you an example to finish off the lesson.
Formal tests, students. Formal tests. On my left-hand
Let's
side.
go here to formal tests.
Let's use a September sick. Yes, there. On the heading where the word September sick is, that is
So
where
you
you
download,
upload.
correct. You download from here and you work on it. No problem there. Then you get stuck
When you
where to
upload.
upload. Watch my mouse. Watch my mouse very carefully on the screen. When I go on top of the heading, I get a hand that I can click on. So my cursor changes from an arrow to a hand, a hyperlink. I can then click on that and I go into my whole submission process. You browse your local files, you find your zip, and you click on submit. And as Mr. Pretorius has repeated so many times, please wait for the confirmation at the top here. I am going to try and submit something. It won't work for me because I'm a lecturer, but I'll choose something on my desktop.
Scope criteria, and there it is. And then sir will click on that. And you see, it won't work for us.
Okay, it won't work for us, it will work for you. And you need to wait for this thing. Otherwise, your upload is not complete. And yours can be green, it can be purple, it can be yellow,
Yep.
it can be
Any
all
color.
kinds of colors. It depends on the web browser you're using. If you're using Chrome, it's going to be one thing. If you're using Opera, it's going to be another thing. If you're using Firefox, it's going to be another color. I don't know why that happens, but it will say there success. Then you know. You don't have to ask us, sir, did you get my file? Because if it says there success,
Then it's
your
there.
file is there. If you come back to this place, you should be able to download your own file, and then you know 100% It is on Blackboard. And students, to finish off, why are we throwing so many rules and instructions at you? It's because it's a final integrated summative assessment. We are
Exam,
testing
yeah.
all of your skills for the year. It is the one examination where there is, during the year, we understand you are learning and we try to accommodate you for all of the problems that you have. We open Blackboard again, we extend, we give you another chance. We give too many chances, I think. For the November exam, we are not allowed to do that. It is monitored by the university. So if you can come and ask us and beg and plead and say, please, sir, please, sir, please, sir, open it again. We can't. We're not allowed to. So
Mr. Smith,
that's why.
just before you
Yes.
see that you are, sorry man, see that you are here, just scroll down to the left-hand tab menu for the mock, sir. If you scroll down to tutors and mentors and something, there we go. One up, there's it. Inside that tab, students, click, sir, and there is it right there. It's open for you. And yes, the 29th, 30th, I will upload the solution to this. So you will have in your study week time to look at the solutions, and practice makes perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So just to recap, you go on the left here. Accounting, tutors and mentors tutorials. There is your final mock exam. And there will be links to other tutorials that will be sent out by Miss Morris. Please keep an eye on your WhatsApp. Don't miss them. You would like to attend those tutorials. They are going to help you tremendously. We have some dedicated tutors. They are there to help you. They can even help you one by one on the side if necessary. So please use that resource. I think I'm done for the day.
Yep. Any questions?
Any questions, students? Any questions?
I think we covered
Very
everything,
quiet
sir.
out there. We have covered everything, but it's very quiet out there. Anything in the chat here?
Okay, what I will do with my 4 groups now, students, listen. If I now see group H and group FW asking me, where's your marks? That means your sir is still busy marking your class tests. He will give it to you on Friday or Monday for the latest. I managed to finish the marking, so your marks will come, Wellington and G and H. I am just going to post your 4 class test marks that I received for group A, B, C, D, and your averages. And then I will also show your math stuff, which will be either Friday or Monday. So students in group H and G and Wellington, don't put pressure on your lecturer. Your marks will come. Thank you, sir.
We are working. I'm working all day. I'm working late into the night till 12 o'clock. Why am I doing it so late in the year? Because I'm getting you extra marks, students. I want to be nice to my students. So I have a look at your progress. I go, yo, the student needs to get some extra marks for tests. I have a look at the tests. We see whatever mark we can find you. We give you a nice mark there, and it pulls your mark up, giving you a good exam, giving you a good chance at the exam.
A good average.
Well, final point again, I'm going to repeat, is the exam counts 30% of your year mark. Okay, I think if there's no questions, we are done for the day.
Yes, sir. I will download the video now, sir, later. And I will also convert it to YouTube and post it on the group chat, today's session.
Thank you, Mr. Pretorius. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Okay, sir.